If you don't recognize Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford, it may very well be because you expect them to exist in another time and in another very different space. In the new movie Star Wars, Carrie plays Princess Leia, the maiden in distress, and Harrison played Han Solo, space cowboy who reluctantly decides to help rescue her. Well, George Lucas, who wrote and directed the film, chose them partly because of the way they worked together. They did not, however, see the effectiveness of their rehearsals until they saw the final print with all of the effects added, and it looked like this.
We've lost a lot of our controls.
Don't worry. They'll hold together.
Jimmy, baby, hold together.
What a show. It's just wonderful. Really great, fun frivolousness. You never had any idea what it was actually going to look like, though, until you finally saw the print, right?
Well, most of it was there in the script, although you couldn't visualize how they actually were going to do it.
The special effects and so forth.
Were not there at all.
What did you think when you finally saw how it was put together and what it was going to be like?
Well, it was amazing. I never thought that they could actually do it, given the budget that they had, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was overwhelmed, appropriately enough.
What about you, Harrison?
I was happy. I was real happy to see how well it turned out. I think they did themselves proud, those guys.
Were you shocked?
No, I wasn't shocked. No, I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew what it was going to look like. I'm not a big science fiction fan, and I really hadn't any way to anticipate what it was going to be like.
Having seen the film now, is it the kind of movie that you would enjoy going to see?
I have enjoyed going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Carrie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I understand you have two young sons, Harrison.
I do,
what,
yeah.
What did they think about the show, and what did they particularly like about it?
Well, they act as if it was made for them, you know? I mean, not because I'm in it, but because it is so particularly right for them at their age. They're 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they love it, as do most of their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
What about your parents, Carrie? Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. What did they think about you and then the film, too?
Well, they love it. My mother thinks it's sort of... Well, my mother thought before she saw it that it was going to be like Singing in the Rain, because you figure 2 guys and a girl. But they thought it was like sort of a Frank Capra film. You know, it has the spirit of the films that were in the 30s and 40s that they haven't had in a long time.
What did they think about your role in it?
They were very pleased to see my hair up at the end. They loved it. You know, They liked that I wasn't sort of a victim cowering and so forth.
Yeah. What do you think? There was a story recently in the news about a woman who felt that unless she saw the show in every 3 days, she got terribly nervous. What do you think about some of these folks who were going to see it 20, 30, 40 times? I think she'd been 43 times.
Well, I don't understand. I'm gratified, but I don't understand.
Yeah, just to have to see it where you get nervous is strange. I don't know. I wouldn't touch that one.
Okay, well, let's move on. You said your mother was glad to see you with your hair up and so forth. Well, what was it like for you acting? You were practically the only woman on the set. You were surrounded by men and machines and strange creatures and all of that sort of thing. What was it like for you dealing with that?
Well, very interesting. It was great when they shot a lot of the, when they had all the extras to do the stormtrooper sequence. I was the only girl there. You know, I had a lot of different lunches with everyone. I don't know, it was, I took it
didn't
for
strike you one way or
granted
another, in other words. So
I didn't know how to take advantage of it at the time.
You wish you could now?
Well, I don't know.
What about, you know, one of the most incredible scenes in the entire film has got to be the barroom scene with those outrageous creatures that have been concocted from someone's wild imagination.
Stuart Freeborn originated a lot of those monsters in England. Yeah, it was fantastic. And it's very much like like the whole movie, it invokes memories of all those barroom scenes that you've ever seen before, with that one added twist.
How did they do that one scene where you're caught in the garbage, and the walls are closing in on you, and
They
it's so
put us in
murky
garbage.
They built a garbage room.
Put a bunch of garbage in a room and then squeezed in the walls.
Oh my Lord, that's incredible. What about some of the other R2-D2 and C-3PO working in those machines? Wasn't it terribly uncomforting for them?
Yeah, it took Tony Daniels about 45 minutes every day to get into that thing, and we shot on probably one of the hottest summers London has had.
Oh,
and in the set, sometimes it could get over 100 degrees if you're in a small set. Sometimes I think on one occasion, they finished shooting and everyone started to walk away, and you heard Kenny not inside of the R2
Yeah,
unit.
he was R2-D2.
Yes, they left him inside of the unit. Everyone got so used to him as a robot there.
That's too much. We thank the two of you for coming and telling us a little bit of the insights into what was going on behind.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.